Good afternoon, everybody. It gives me enormous pleasure to welcome you all to the 29th edition of Orica Lebanon. We're so grateful to have you all with us. This year's theme is Powered by Passion, and I think we're all powered by passion for Lebanon, something that unites all of us. And today's talk, which is hosted by Lebanon Traveller and Hospitality News Middle East, is about moving forward with passion. And I'm so blessed to be with some very inspiring people. Our panelists, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm going to introduce each and every one of you. And just a quick reminder that at the end we will have a 5-minute Q&A. So please do ask your questions at the end. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our 4 amazing panelists. We're going to start. I don't want to say leaving the best to last. You're all equal, but I'm going to start with Chef Youssef Ai'i, a very dear friend who has been supporting Orica for how many years? I don't know. Too many to remember.
20.
So many of you know Chef Youssef Ai'i from Burgundy. He has been instrumental in our culinary scene, in Lebanon's F&B scene, and is extremely humble as well. Youssef is the owner and executive chef of Brut Restaurant and managing partner of Kitchen Backstage, and the newly appointed president of Disciple Escoffier Lebanon. Could we please have a round of applause for that? That is a big deal. The association has just launched in Lebanon and they have appointed Youssef as their president, so we're very happy. So just a quick bio. Youssef Ai'i, a Lebanese culinary expert and sustainability advocate, founded Brut, a farm-to-table restaurant and kitchen backstage company. As a UNIDO consultant, Lebanese Restaurant Association board member, and president of the newly launched Disciple Escoffier Lebanon, he promotes sustainable food practices in Lebanon's hospitality sector. Thank you, Youssef, for being with us.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone.
Our second panelist doesn't need much of an introduction. He's he's a very familiar face. He's accomplished many things that we can only dream of. Most of us can only dream of. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome the wonderful Maxime Shaya.
Thank you.
I don't think the title of a Lebanese adventurer does you justice, Maxime.
Superman.
Supermax. So Maxime Shaya, Lebanon's top adventurer, was the first Lebanese to summit Everest in 2006. Does it feel like almost 20 years ago?
It's my birth date. So in a few days, I'll be 19. I'm still a teenager.
He completed the 7 summits. He also reached the North and South Pole, rode the Indian Ocean, and cycled the Empty Quarter. He's a motivational speaker and author, and he definitely inspires the youth to find and climb their own Everest. If I could please have a big round of applause for Maxime.
Can we get a cake ready? Like Miledo.
We will. Mariana and I will sort that out. And another very familiar face who we're truly honored to have with us is the wonderful Mario Jr. Haddad, chairman of Another Round. He is possibly one of the most renowned restaurateurs in Lebanon and comes from a family of food lovers and restaurateurs. Mario he introduced sushi to Lebanon in 1997 with Le Sushi Bar. I think we've all tried the sushi there. 25 years in F&B, he expanded concepts like Al Falamanki and Mariolino internationally. He now owns and manages several ventures, blending storytelling with culinary excellence to elevate dining experience, which you absolutely do. So thank you, Mario, for being with us.
I love you.
And Mariana Wahbe, what can I say?
She didn't say anything yet. Let her start.
Mariana Wahbia, dear friend, founder and creative director of MWPR, Mariana Wahbia Public Relations, and founder of We Design Beirut.
Yes.
Based between Beirut and Abu Dhabi, Mariana is a leading advocate for design culture and public art. Through her PR firm, she represents top design talents and curates events. She founded We Design Beirut, a biannual, it's not biannual, it's slightly less, event uniting 180 designers, artisans, and students to enrich the regional design scene. If I could please have a round of applause for Mariana. And I think we'll jump right into the conversation. It's going to be more of a chat, so let's keep it easy. Maxime, if you don't mind, I'm going to start with you because you've scaled some of the world's highest peaks. So what parallels do you draw between the resilience needed to succeed in extreme sports and the resilience needed to rebuild Lebanon's future?
Simple question.
Yeah, they're both tough endeavors, but I think I've proved that it's not impossible, correct? So, what parallels? I guess you start with a vision. What do you want to do? Climb Everest. And then you work your way towards it, slowly but surely. Of course, it takes a lot of time. And for time to succeed, you need patience. Now, during that time, there's lots of hard work, grit, perseverance, determination. And sadly, none of these are like one moment, one aha moment, one sexy event, or one superb idea. It's just showing up day in, day out, doing the hard work. I guess Lebanon is the same. I think the vision has been set by our president with the speech. And of course, the team of ministers. We just saw our good friend Laura here not long ago. She's still here? No? Okay. And I believe another thing that I learned, maybe not on the mountain, but maybe on the ocean, you mentioned the ocean, is that actually, I'm writing a book about the ocean. There's one chapter which says, first the crew, then the boat. So I actually picked my crewmates before buying my rowboat. And the crew is really important. You cannot achieve anything grand without a good team around you. And I think our ministers in their respective, the prime minister, the government itself, with its ministers and the ministers themselves, in each in their own ministry, hopefully will pick the right team for them to endeavor day in, day out, to get to the Lebanon we all aspire to. Lebanon has a lot to offer. We just need to fix a few things for us to get there on time. And like I said before, I'll just finish off saying, one of the slides in my keynotes is just 3 letters, T, T, T. Things take time. Anything grand will take the time, and we need to give it the time. We need to be patient. Don't expect any miracles in the next month or two. It's the work everyone here is doing, especially at Horeca and all of you guys, that will get us to the Lebanon we aspire to reach.
Thank you so much, Maxime.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautifully said.
I'm going to move to food.
That's nice.
We're at Orica, so we should talk about food. So, Youssef, how do you balance? I'm sure you're asked this a lot, but I'm curious to know, how do you balance the need for innovation with staying true to Lebanese flavors and our heritage and our core? How do you balance that?
Actually, we need 4 things. Actually, we need 4 things to. First of all, we need to master our product, our Lebanese roots, or our technique. For example, if you need to innovate with the hummus, you need to master the hummus. and how to make it. And then when we say innovation, that's mean we need to respect this innovation doesn't kill the tradition. So doesn't replace the tradition. It should be equal or parallel. Also, we should respect the audience. If the people, and listen to the audience. If the client doesn't like it, we need to remove it very fast. And this way, when you try again, you will have a good...
You perfect
yes,
it,
exactly.
basically. So don't play too much with...
No, I don't play. I keep the plate as it is, the product as it is. We can play, we can innovate with the garnish, we can innovate with the more new flavors and the sauces, but the raw product stays like it is.
I think it's a good opportunity to tell us just very briefly about Brut, because it's really a fantastic project in Hrajel.
True.
Could you please just explain to the audience briefly what you're doing there?
Brut, it's a small restaurant. We don't take walk-ins. There is no menu. It all depends on the product, what we have, the availability. I have my own garden, so I'm using my own vegetables. And also the menu changes each time then you came to Brut. And there's no limit for the creativity there and for the innovation. So it's my playground to enjoy, and that's it.
It's whatever your garden gives you, basically.
Exactly.
Mariana, so as a PR expert and the founder of We Design Beirut, you've seen Lebanon's image evolving locally and internationally. How do you think Lebanon can better promote its narrative in spite of challenges?
Well, first of all, Lebanon has always been living through challenges. That's what we know. That's what we've, encountered in my 45 years of being on this earth. It's about storytelling. One of the most important and most powerful things you can ever do to change a narrative or to impact a narrative is to tell a story. That's what makes people feel something. And when you make them feel something, that's what they keep with them. What we need to understand is that we have to create a story together without waiting for the world to define us. Oh, look at the Lebanese, they are expats, or the Lebanese are party animals, or the Lebanese are this or that. It's important that we create the narrative and then we take that narrative out. And you're seeing that lately. You're seeing that by these phenomenal people that are sitting next to us that are friends and family, from Mireille to Danny to Yusuf to the initiatives that are being taken place. We are starting to create a storyline to say, wait a minute. No, we are not the chaos that you know of us. We are talented. We know what we are doing. And we can definitely compete with you on the international scale. So our story has to be very well defined and unified.
Well, I think you're telling a beautiful story with We Design. Maybe again, briefly, now is a good opportunity to tell the audience a little bit about why, how, and the first edition. We're all looking forward to the second edition, but was that your way of also changing the narrative, so to speak?
We Design was a call for action, okay? We all went through massive crisis. We all had to leave. And there was this extreme, excruciating pain of seeing phenomenal Lebanese in the region and around the world being successful. But you can't be successful if you don't touch home, if you don't touch base, because without this place, I'm homeless. The we in We Design came from we the people. We the people that keep coming back, that keep investing, that keep getting hurt and going back to this space that we know we're rooted in. So it started as a call for action, and because I work in design, this is what I know, but I think it has turned into something bigger than what I thought or knew or we thought. First of all, there's an army behind us, okay? One of our amazing patrons is Mireille Hayek, our dear friends, Anjad, yani, it's the truth. And this shows you the unity that Lebanon has, whereas we're so divided, but when things like this happen, the whole community stands with you. It's like, can we just continue to be systematic in that and try to be unified? So we've integrated 7 universities this year, 8 universities, 200 students. We're taking craftsmen to another level because we understood that the craft is dying because we're leaving the country, we're leaving our spaces, therefore they're not giving it to new generations, but this cannot happen. And from every little act, we are learning and then implementing something. So we design Beirut as a collective. It's a cultural project. It's a design project that what I want to say is that we are this kid on a playground that comes from an underprivileged family. But this kid has dreams and hopes and aspirations. But his family is a bit insane and not as privileged. I want to be that kid on that playground. I want to play because I have hopes and dreams, and one day these hopes and dreams will come to life. This is for me why we design Beirut. I want to be on that playground regionally with Qatar and Saudi and the UAE collaborating, not competing. But I want to be on that playground.
Bravo.
I mean it.
I think we're on the playground, aren't we?
Yes. We're getting there.
Mario, I'm going to move over to you. So actually, Mariana helped me because she kind of introduced, why do you keep investing in Lebanon? I mean, your portfolio is quite broad. We've got restaurants, we've got cinema, we've got guest house. You're doing many things. So I know that you spend time outside. We all do to some degree, but why do you keep investing in Lebanon? What is it that you're seeing in this country that encourages you to invest?
First of all, let me say that I'm very honored to be among such distinguished panelists. But in honesty, you could have chosen anybody in this room or in this hall who could have represented what you're asking of me as well. I mean, I don't see myself particularly different to how anybody in this room feels about being in Lebanon or investing in Lebanon. I don't think of it as something out of the ordinary. It's what we all want. It's what we all feel. I mean, just listen to Yasmina talking.
Choice.
Look at Mireille and Dani and what they've achieved. I mean, I could pinpoint anybody in this room and say, they are my inspiration. I mean, I want to emulate them. I want to do like everybody else is doing, and I want to live here. I wanna continue being here. I want to be surrounded by the people of this land. So it doesn't come as I mean, the question itself to me sounds odd. I mean, I don't know of anyone who wouldn't want to invest in their country, especially when their country is this. I have daughters who are currently working abroad and studying abroad, and they, like me, just don't understand that at any given point in the future, they won't be here or they won't be invested in this country. So for me, it just comes as the natural thing. The moment I can, I would invest here over and over and over again.
I think it's also to do with the risk factor and the volatility of the market, and especially in the work that you do with restaurants and stuff. There is, you know, with Yusuf as well, you know, you have huge investments. We're talking financial investments. And unfortunately, we are somewhat challenged by things that are outside of our control, whether it's geopolitics, so this is, I suppose this is my question, that you're taking risk investing here,
True.
but you're doing it.
Yes, it might look as a risk. It might seem a risk, but I've opened restaurants in now 6, 7 different countries. And I can tell you one thing, that I haven't encountered guests, because for me they're guests, like the guests you encounter in this country. The way they want to enjoy life and have no limits to what they would spend to do so, regardless whether they have the means or not. I mean, I recently opened in Bodrum, right? I opened the Mariolino last summer in Bodrum. And Bodrum is affluent with people who are, of a certain, have the certain means to come and spend anything their heart desires. And you could immediately tell when the guests were Lebanese. You'd see people fighting over a bill. You go over and, they turn out to be foreigners who are trying to remove a bottle of water that they didn't order on the table. And then you look at the table next to them and they're fighting over the bill, and they've come in a taxi where the others had arrived in their yachts, and they're fighting over who's going to pay the bill. I haven't encountered anywhere I've opened a restaurant guests like Lebanese who just spend the way they spend. That's A. B, the grass always seems greener on the other side, but it is not. It is not, I assure you. Regardless of where I've opened, this country is full of khair. I honestly believe that. Just give it a few months of calm and there is nowhere like it. I've opened in the GCC, I've opened in Turkey, I've opened in everywhere. You do not make money the way you make it here just because of the people. It's not because of anything else but the people. So you might think of it as a risk, and it is a risk to some extent. But we've lived through. I haven't lived through anything else. It's always been ever since I started. There's always been something going on. We've never had over a year of calm, and you can say, okay, and now we can build.
We've become good at it.
Honestly,
that sounds insane, but we've actually become good at all the insanity.
Risk management. We should give risk management courses.
No, they need to redefine the name of that. There is no name to what we can do. I mean, you have the world's biggest non-nuclear explosion, and the next day we're cleaning the streets, and a month later you go down to Jamaica and it's built by
the private sector.
Okay, so we've become. It sounds insane. You say, this is insane, you're resilient. We're not resilient.
And
we just know
cliché.
How to do it.
And
this is our
cliché.
home.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I love the passion. We're
a passionate bunch.
Yes, I think, yes. We all feel it. I feel a lot of love in this room right now. So I'm just going to ask a panel question, if anyone wants to take it. Anyone brave enough to take it? The Lebanese diaspora. If we can just ask, what role do they play in shaping our future? And how should we be strengthening the bonds between us and them? I don't want to say them, all of us together.
Well, I'd like to just say something about the diaspora. I think the one thing we've super well exported throughout the past 40 years is people. And it's the only thing we're good at exporting, to be honest. It's this diaspora, the people, the skilled people that you call the diaspora. This country has survived solely thanks to this diaspora.
I agree.
To the people who have left the country looking for a better, present, because in their minds, their future is always here. You do not need to do anything to link them back to the country. Their hearts and soul are linked to this country. And every single person I've ever encountered who's left, whether recently or in the distant past, all want to come back, all want to contribute, all have aspirations and hopes for this country. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I always say, whenever a disaster happens in this country, or a war, or whatever it is, you've got a outflux of people.
Yes.
But this is incredibly good for our future. It is probably bad for our present, but this is the only thing that's allowed this country to survive. We spend a fortune importing everything, and the only thing that we can rely on as income is the diaspora that believes, that continues to believe in this country. And I think
helped
this
us
is a beautiful
rebuild.
thing.
And I mean, when we talk about the diaspora, sometimes I feel that people are harsh with them. You know, they live abroad. No, it's extremely hard to be living abroad. We've faced it, we've lived it. I am soulless abroad. I have no soul. And this is one of probably the only countries in the world where you can leave for 20 years and 30 years, but they'll always come back home.
Yeah.
You don't see that in many countries around the world. And the diaspora helped us rebuild the country. Rebuild, you know, during 2020. This is something we cannot forget. Over to Max.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll give it back to you right away. As Mariana and Mario and Yusuf said, we have an amazing bunch of people. There's so much spirit, the Lebanese spirit that Mariana spoke about, the Lebanese joie de vivre that Mario just spoke about. Yusuf, if you can cook my meals for my next expedition, that would be great, especially if it's from your garden. But I want to talk about the land that we were blessed with. The mountains, the Mediterranean, the 3,000-meter peaks, and we're blessed with snow in the winter. We take it for granted, but this is amazing. And in between, we have the four seasons, the local produce, the joie de vivre, the nightlife, the history. Everything is there for us to be a top-notch destination, not just for adventure or culinary arts or arts in general, but for anything and everything. All we need is a bit of love. A bit of peace, a bit of visibility, a bit of continuity, and I hope that.
And faith. I think faith is moving.
We have it.
Together.
Of course.
Hope and faith.
Yeah. Thank you, Max. Yusuf, I want to ask you about. He's talked about mountains and sea and all the amazing things. Talk about food. Why do you think Lebanon is such an appealing destination in terms of its food?
First of all, we have a good heritage, and we have the weather gave us a lot of things, and the product, we have it in our hand, and we need to keep it. And to keep these traditions and the flavors and to enhance it with the new generation, especially, and with all the cooks, or the chefs, what we are doing now, is to explore the Lebanese cuisine all over the world. This is very important for us and for the all Lebanese.
But in terms of tourism, if we're talking tourism, tourists come to Lebanon, everyone loves Lebanese cuisine. They love it because it's healthy and it's vegetarian, and or those that like meat or fish, or there's everything available. Tell us what is specifically unique, or what do you believe people come for? Wine, how do you see it in terms of tourism? And
they want to enjoy the nature, they want to enjoy the people, the spirit of the people, to talk with the people. They want to, I guess, for the future generation, they want to go in the mountains to talk with the old people, and then to discover new places all over Lebanon. Because a few years ago, Batroun doesn't exist, and there is more countries, more villages. We need to explore more and more. This is why they want to come.
And each village has its own unique culinary specialties as well.
That's true. For example, the kibbeh in the north, it's not the same in the south. So they need to taste both of us. They need to try it.
Which one do you like more?
Snoop, akid.
You spoke about Batroun. I know you're working now to open for the summer.
In 10 days.
In 10 days?
Yes.
I'll be one of the first to be popping up, I'm sure. Mariana, I want to ask you about social media and digital tools and foreign media, and how we should be, how can we leverage, do you think, social media and international media in terms of redefining our identity?
Again, I would go back to saying it's about our narrative. We need to create a narrative about our nation. Our narrative has been chaotic. اللي بيحكي بالشمال واللي بيحكي بالجنوب. Everybody has an idea. I actually don't agree with you have your Lebanon and I have mine. With all due respect to Khalil Gibran, who I respect tremendously. I want to have one Lebanon. The narrative has been so chaotic for the world to understand, a world that is fast moving, that you need to understand things in seconds, not even in minutes. So if you're talking about your flag and you're talking about your village and you're talking about your political stance, you've completely ruined anything that has to do about a nation. If you look at every nation in the Middle East that we love and respect and we honor and collaborate with, because I am a proud Arab woman, not just a Lebanese woman, they have a narrative of a nation. Saudi Arabia is opening up and building technology. The UAE has a vision of inclusivity of everybody, letting them feel that it is their land, that they're part of it. What does Lebanon have? How do we change that narrative from insanity or reaction to inclusion? How do we change that narrative into one nation? One nation, one people. And I think if we're hoping right or feeling right, because you always feel the movement in our country. You feel when things are going bad. You feel when things are going good. And I think we're in a place where we are feeling that this narrative is shifting and we're starting to collectively think about one way forward. So yes, the narrative.
I love that.
That's MWPR there.
The cheerleaders, I love it. Mario, I think I was going to open this to all the panelists, but I'll start with you, actually. I think 5 years seems like a really long time, but in the next 5 years, what is the vision? How do you see Lebanon evolving in the next 5 years? And how do you, how do you see yourself contributing to it, whether it's through projects or...
Wow, what a simple question. I tend to feel the same way as Mariana does. I'm somebody who by nature is very hopeful, very positive. I always see the good side of things, the positive side of things. And I'm a believer that, you ride the wave, whatever the wave is, and you make the best of it. But I'm also feeling that the narrative is changing and that we are on the positive end of things. And hopefully, who knows, right? But I'm very hopeful and I want to continue believing. What is the alternative? Not? And, it's not an option for me to ever think that this is not going to get better. So
and I think it's something we all feel. We all have that.
From there on, you do your best and you continue believing and you do your part. I keep saying, I don't know why I'm on this panel. You could have chosen another million people who are as invested or more. But I'm blessed in the sense that I come from a family that's in a completely different line of business, which is the movie business. And I was blessed that I didn't have to make a living from this part of the business. I opened restaurants because I was passionate about food. I love entertaining. I love people in general, and didn't have to cut corners. It was sort of, easier for me because I didn't have to look at the bottom line. I just wanted to do the best I can, please every single guest that walked through the door. And, I want to continue doing that. And I'm not looking at it beyond the pleasure it gives me. It was never intended to be a business. It became a business because we're currently over 1,000 staff members, which I'm happy and proud of. But at the end of the day, it was never intended to be a profitable venture. It was just a way of pleasing my soul and be happy. It was never beyond that.
In the past 5 years, these gentlemen here are very, very dear to me. It's like a brother. Maxime Shaya is family. We're not going to get into that conversation. And I have seen Youssef from day one. So it's not just the future 5 years, Lisa, it's the past 5 years. I've watched, and we've been on the same path the past 5 years through everything we've been through. So we've met in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and started over again, and then came back here, and then went back there. And it's the choice that you make to continue. You either can sit and point fingers and say, "Nahna wa intu wal balad," or you can say, "All of it is noise. I am continuing." Sometimes you're not continuing here, but you always come back here. And we've been through that. I mean,
Yeah.
We've worked together, we've collaborated, we've past and future.
Nice. I just have a couple very quick questions, and then we have to wrap up. Where should we be focusing on? Where should we be focusing on in order to move forward? Max, you want to take this one?
It's simple. Like we said, we have everything that's God-given, and the people are amazing, like I just said. All we need, like I said, is a bit of love. In other words, is a bit of peace, stability.
Positivity.
No matter, it's the weakest link in the chain, no matter how great our country is, and it is more than great. Few countries, I've been everywhere, from the South Pole to the North Pole, from New Zealand to Alaska, and everything in between. It's true that Lebanon is blessed with so much and with such little proximity. We're not going to go on about skiing in the morning and water skiing in the afternoon and all of that. All we need is a bit of peace. And hopefully, like Mario just said, we'll get there.
Our youth.
Final question. Projects. Fun stuff, future stuff, positive stuff. What are you working on?
Now I'm working opening Batroun in 10 days. Then in June, opening Brut. And hopefully after 6 months in Beirut.
Can you tell us about it?
No.
Well, we'll be there.
Can you
6
tell me
months.
after about it?
No.
So Youssef has some secret news. Just remember that you heard the secret was going to be told at Orica
Exactly.
when it's announced. Max, is there anything you haven't? Are you going out to space or something? I don't know. What are you?
You know,
You've got a book.
when I came back from Everest, the Prime Minister told me, "We've been anywhere. Would you like to go to space?" But no, seriously now, I'm, I'm immensely proud of a new product I worked on for the past year. I poured my heart into it. It's a comic book, une bande dessinée, all Lebanese, about my adventures to the South Pole and North Pole. It's drawn by Yvan Debus, and the scenario is by Ralph Dumit. And we'll be signing it on the 7th of May at ESA. So you'll see what it is. And you'll understand when you see the book in front. I was at the Belgian embassy where they consider comic books as the 9th art, le 9e art. You'll see when you have the book at hand that it has nothing to envy neither Tintin nor Asterix nor Michel Vaillant, which I used to love very much.
I
And
think
very
there are some
quickly-
people that want your book, actually. They're sitting right there, don't you? So 7th of May.
And I'm also working on an expedition. As you know, I fell in love with the desert, the Rub al-Khali, which I cycled twice. So now I fell in love with another desert on the other side of the planet in Namibia. So I have a nice expedition there midsummer. which is not the summer there, but
Just
yeah,
come back to us, Max.
Superman.
I will, like
Just
always.
make sure you come back. Mario,
Nothing-
where are you?
Nothing as grand as Max's
Oh,
ventures.
come
I
on.
can assure you. I have a few projects that I'm working on in Egypt. As you know, I'm partly based over there, and I continue to grow the business over there. I'm also opening a couple of restaurants here, hopefully by the end of this year. But the project that's the closest to my heart is something that I started at Orica a couple of years ago, which is an academy that helps build what we lack the most, and it's talent and skilled labor. You know, over the past few years, there was an exodus of skilled labor because they needed to find money to be able to continue paying for their families' lives, etc. And there's a massive need for work in the country. So we went on a search in remote areas of the country where we can find people who are looking to learn not just to find a job, but to learn a skill that can help them sustain their lives throughout. And we started this academy, and I had connected with all of my friends in the restaurant business, and everybody was super helpful. And this academy takes these people who have no jobs, teaches them a skill, and hopefully everybody who's in the restaurant business starts finding people who are willing to work. And,
I love
and,
that.
So you're a philanthropist as well. We should have added that to your.
I love
Just-
it. I didn't know.
So this is something that's really
That's
close to my
beautiful.
heart and
I love it.
is needed in our country, because we you know, everybody in the restaurant business is technically a family, and we are a big family who are all friends but also sort of competitors, and we all tend to find somebody who's skilled and well, I'll pay you $100, come to work for me, etc. And it's unsustainable. What we need is to
Teach
teach more people who are in need of work, and teach them something that we know how to do very
I
well.
love it.
Mario,
And,
if I
and
may,
it just feeds into the machine.
more than just work, if I may, I'll add to this. My motto is there's an Everest for everyone. And what you're doing is making people discover their Everest, which is inside of them. How sad would it be that we have culinary chefs, star chefs in some of the villages, but that go
Nobody knows.
undiscovered simply because there's no one like Mario who
This
can
is amazing.
get them to bring out the music that's inside them and sing it during this
And-
short period that life is.
And honestly, it shouldn't be praised for that, because it takes nothing. It's just finding the people, and they're there, and they're in abundance over there. And it costs nothing because it's on-job training. So we bring them into the restaurants. They shadow whatever department there is, whether front of house, back of house, in the kitchen, anything. And they're doing a job, getting paid whatever they can afford to get paid.
Beautiful.
And you're building a whole
That's great.
Network.
infrastructure and ecosystem for nothing. So I really,
Love it.
it shouldn't be praised for it, but it's close to my heart because I feel that I've contributed somehow to helping,
We'll talk more about it after. I want to know more about this.
That's why
project.
he's my friend. Can we tell them about the cooking show?
First of all,
Yeah, you can.
I just wanted to say, Mariana, obviously, 22 to 26 October, second edition of We Design Beirut.
Inshallah.
I think your team are all working extremely hard on that. I met all
They're
of them.
small but mighty. I
They're
always tell them they're
girls.
small but they are mighty.
an army of young people.
Yes, it's our youth. They're our future.
So tell me projects, exciting projects to share with us. This is the one.
We Design Beirut, 22 to 26 of October. We have 7 major exhibitions. They are all free, open to the public. We have 8 universities involved. It's part of their credit program now. We have craftsmen and artisans involved on a very big scale. And we're on the playground, so please look out for the, for the schedule. There will be panel talks every single day. and it's open for everyone. وبتمنى كل العالم من كل أجيال, wherever you're from, whatever your background is, for them to come. This
You
is
have
what
a lot
it's
of
about.
people coming from outside, I've heard.
We do.
So
We do.
it's going to be
Inshallah.
exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you. A big
Thank
round
you,
of
Lisa.
applause. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry we've run out of time for questions, but the panelists will hang around, won't you, for a few minutes in case anyone wants to grab you and ask you a question.